Good afternoon, and welcome to the 8th Annual Chapter Leadership Summit. So I appreciate everyone being here. It's nice to see a lot of new faces from last year and the year before, so again, welcome everybody. Special advisement. This event is going to be recorded for educational purposes, may be used for educational purposes. We'll be passing it out to the chapters. Also, please wait for the handheld mic that will be handed out by Maria and Tricia before speaking so that it can be recorded. And again, copies will be distributed at a later date. Here's today's agenda, which everyone should have on their chair. So we're going to do brief introductions, networking, and lunch, which obviously you're doing right now. We'll talk about some new chapters, success stories since 2001's summit, the chapter membership contest, the chapter speakers list, which I think everyone's going to be excited about. We'll do the chapter presentations, which that's actually the meat and potatoes of this event. New member benefits, and then some closing remarks. Again, this event is for you, and all I'm here to do is try to steer it along. Hopefully everyone can get an idea or two that they can bring back to their chapter. And because you guys are the grassroots effort for IAPMO. Without your help, especially the field service managers in particular, for all that you do, thank you. So what we're going to do right now is just go around real quick and do some introductions. This we don't really need the mic for, but just give us your name, your chapter, and your position within the chapter if you are a chapter. So Bob, if you wouldn't mind. Sorry, Coach in the middle of eating.
Bob Carpenter, Region 8, which takes the states of Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, North South Carolina, and Florida.
My name is Joe Kajak. I'm the chairman of the Treasure Coast chapter of IAPMO.
My name is Scott Kramer. I am the recording secretary and treasurer of the Treasure Coast chapter of IAPMO, which is in West Palm Beach, Florida, right up the road here.
Bud Riesenberg, Vice President, Treasure Coast Chapter, West Palm Beach.
My name is Alan Becker, and I'm the current chair for the Southern Nevada chapter.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Lobb, and I'm the secretary of the Southern Nevada chapter of IAPMO.
I'm Tom Gugino. I'm past president of the Southern Nevada chapter of IAPMO.
DJ Nunez, San Joaquin chapter, which is located in Central California. Nothing, just a guy that swears them in.
Tim Permiter, Vice Chairman of Alaska IAPMO.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dwight Perkins, Regional Manager from number 1 region. That encompasses the states of Alaska, Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, and Hawaii.
Jim Godomsky, Chairman of the Alaska Central Chapter of IAPMO.
Gary Heil, I'm past chairman and past vice chairman of the Alaska Central chapter of IAPMO, and very proud to say for the first time, the new president for IAPMO International, or president-elect, until I'm installed.
I'm Bruce Pfeiffer. I'm the secretary for the Kansas, Missouri chapter of IAPMO and the vice president-elect.
Dave Straub, Colorado chapter.
Rick Kaufman, Iowa chapter, treasurer.
Jed Sherman, Oregon Cascade chapter.
Good morning, Jaime Valdivia, Inland Empire. I'm the vice chairman of the chapter.
Rachel Valdivia, recording secretary, Long Beach.
Good morning, DJ Berger, secretary treasurer, IAPMO Louisiana chapter.
Billy Borchert, Nashville, Tennessee chapter.
Matt Marciniak, Region 3, field manager, Wisconsin chapter. Scott Hamilton, Chairman of the Wisconsin Chapter.
Good morning, Trini Mendoza, Ventura County, in the Channel Islands chapter of Channel Islands and Ventura County, and I'm the chairman. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andy Leba, and I am the head chapter of the great state of New Mexico.
I'm Don Taylor, the treasurer from the California Central Coast chapter.
Bob Aller, Central California chapter of IAPMO.
David Gans, San Diego County chapter of IAPMO, chairman.
Dan Daniels, Colorado chapter, and let me be the first to say immediate past president of IAPMO.
Dave Iola, Senior Director, IAPMO staff in charge of the Chicago office.
Sylvanus Blois, Roots, past chairman, presently assistant secretary, Virgin Islands chapter.
Charlene Brathwaite, Virgin Islands treasurer. Marilyn Stapleton, field officer, Caribbean.
Ralph Carbon, Virgin Island chapter.
Joseph Williams, Virgin Islands chapter member.
Lindsay Thomas, Virgin Islands chapter, St. Croix.
Good morning, Tom Walsh, New Jersey chapter, District 5.
Sean Cleary, Region 5 field manager, that is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Michigan.
Brian Hemner, the Iowa chapter.
Yes, Bill Schweitzer, Region 4. I take care of Mocan chapter, Salina, Pittsburgh, Hayes, Wichita, Hiawatha, Atchison, Nebraska, Nebraska Central, and the Iowa chapter.
I'm Ron Lord, Regional Manager for Region 7, which is Delaware, Maryland, District of Columbia, Virginia, West Virginia, and Kentucky.
Gabby Davis, IAPMO staff. Tricia Schwenke, IAPMO staff.
I'm John Nielsen, past chair for Southwest Idaho.
Dave Levanger, I'm past president and a board member of the Utah chapter.
Ole Stymack, Big Sky, Montana chapter chair.
Fred Volkers, Northwest Washington chapter chairman.
Steve Nastris, current vice chair for Northwest Washington chapter.
Jimmy Prussia, board of directors from the north.
Gordon McEwen, I'm a regional manager for Region 6, which includes all 6 New England states.
Pete Crow, regional manager for Region 2, Washington, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming.
Alfred Ortega, chairman, Texas Gulf Coast chapter of IAPMO.
Howdy, John Mata, region manager number 9, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
Kenneth McCorkle, Texas Gulf Coast chapter, treasurer.
I'm using this cloth because I have a cold and don't want anybody else. Ed Avila, San Diego chapter.
Ed Bowman, I'm the recording secretary for the Texas Gulf Coast chapter.
Mike Durfee, past president of Utah chapter, and Sergeant Morms.
Gordon Copeland, vice chair, Texas Gulf Coast chapter.
Great, thank you, everyone. Hope everyone's enjoying lunch. Food okay? Excellent. Well, thank Tina Rice for that, for putting this together. All right, let's get into the agenda. So we've had some new chapters since the last time we met. in San Antonio. In January, we had Alabama, the Magic City, which is in Birmingham. Alabama, Titletown, which is in Tuscaloosa. North Carolina, the Carolina Research Triangle. And then in April, we had Florida, the Gold Coast, which is in Broward County. North Carolina, we had the Speedway chapter. And RPA, which obviously everyone heard a lot about today. And in Washington, the Tri-Cities. So let's give a hand to the new chapters. So this is going to be informal. Does anyone have any success stories that came out of last year's summit? If anyone wants, just raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. No? Not a problem. Let's move along. So let's just talk about the chapter membership contest that just finished. It ran from December 1st through June 30th. First of all, let's give props to Massachusetts for being number one. Second place, Alaska. And third place, Wisconsin. And if you look at the spread of how the members came in or how the points are, remember we had a point system. Introductory members were worth 1 point. Paid members other than government and organizations were worth 5. And government and organizations were worth 10. So if you notice, the mix is very different on how first, second, and third came about. Massachusetts had a lot of members, but they did it the hard way, getting in the introductory members. So kudos for them. That was a strategy that worked for them. If you notice, from a year ago, we had 1,562 new members come out of this contest. So thank you to everyone that participated. Last year, we had 661. So quite the improvement year over year. This year, we had 73 chapters that at least had one member come on board. A year ago, we had 59. So that's outstanding, participation by each of our chapters. So it seems that the contest is working. Obviously, IAPMO is trying to grow. And so I'd like to continue having the contest and maybe have a few minor adjustments. Number one, I propose that we start the contest earlier, go October 1st, and go to June 30th. Oh, I had a little typo there, sorry. And the reason being is that we ended at June 30th, so the people that win the conference registrations have ample time before they've already paid. Also, we'd like to think about adding points for upgrading an introductory member to a paid member. Anyone have a suggestion on a point value for that? Again, it's nice that we're getting the new members from the introductory. They're getting a chance to sample what IAPMO has to offer without reaching into their pocket. But now the key thing is to keep those members. And that takes everyone's effort to do that. So I'd like to see if we can reward our chapters for helping making those people a paid member. Anyone that want to throw out a suggestion on point value? Okay. And then same thing, points for retaining a member. Again, you can't grow your membership unless you keep what you have. So retention is very important. So what I'll do is I'll look at coming up with a value somewhere between the probably 3 and 5 points to give that value recognition for retention and then obviously the upgrading. Any other suggestions that people have for the contest? Again, it's your contest. We want to make sure that everyone feels they have a chance to win. You notice we had 3 new winners this year as opposed to last year. So again, it just shows that if everyone gets focused, it can happen. So again, you're the grassroots effort. The field service managers do an unbelievable job of bringing in the new members. So again, we appreciate everyone's effort. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'd like to just go back to a chapter success story. This may sound like a no-brainer, but the fact is these chapters, what we refer to in field services as boots on the ground as it relates to code adoption. And I would like to recognize the Southern Nevada chapter, as well as Northern Nevada chapter, for a recent success story that we had because of their efforts and because of their strong support of the Uniform Mechanical Code. Briefly, back in May, the state of Nevada Public Works Division tried to adopt the International Mechanical Code. And these guys rallied together, made some phone calls, and between SMACNA, both union and non-union contractors in the plumbing and mechanical industry, the IAPMO Southern Nevada chapter, everybody involved that supports IAPMO rallied around the Uniform Mechanical Code and demanded that the state do not adopt the IMC. In the state of Nevada, the Uniform Plumbing Code is mandated by law, state law. But the mechanical code is silent. So theoretically, jurisdictions can adopt whatever mechanical code they want. But because of the strong support of Southern Nevada and industry, it was wired before we got to the committee because we had the room, standing room only at the Public Works Board. And they said, you know, before everybody runs to the microphone, we're going to just let you know that you're probably going to like the proposed amendment by one of our board members. So maybe we can just get a few of you to say the same, you know, the theme is that you want the UMC adopted. And then there was a motion to overturn the recommendation because it was already growing legs and it was just about ready to go rulemaking before we caught this. And it was, you know, cloak and dagger stuff at the Public Works Board by staff, not the board members. So we got it, we got a hold of it, and because of their insistence and their support, we got to turn it around. So I would like to have an applause for the Southern Nevada chapter. And say thank you. So you guys, you ladies are the boots on the ground, and you know, whenever there's a code adoption issue, we need you to be at those meetings and rally that support, and the chapters and everybody from the chapter go and get our codes either maintained or adopted as we build that strategy in our field services department. And they come to you. I mean, why else have a chapter if you're not going to be supportive of your own code? So anyway, thanks again. I just want to bring that up for
Thanks for sharing that,
a
Dwight.
success.
Well, this is something that I think you'll all be excited for. Since I've been here a little over 2.5 years, this has been one of the biggest requests, is to have a chapter speakers list. It's now available. If you go to the IAPMO chapter, you know, IAPMOmembership.org/chapters, there's a tab on the right that says chapter speaker list. Again, I know you can't read this, but what we want to do is see that we have it broken down by who the speaker was, the topic, who they represented, the date they spoke, the original chapter they spoke at, the speaker's email, as well as the speaker's phone number. So again, this is broken down just alphabetically, so you're going to have to scan down. It's a PDF file that'll get updated every month. So as long as you let us know, and that's Johnny Brown in particular that you'd want to get that information to, we will update, you know, that list on a monthly basis. You know, because again, obviously we understand that finding a speaker or a topic is one of the more challenging aspects of the meeting. Bob? Wait for the mic.
Do we contact IAPMO to these speakers or contact them directly if we want them to come to the chapter?
You're more than welcome to contact them directly.
Okay.
You know, again, some of them are willing to travel, so if they're not in your area, ask them. You know, also there may be representatives from that company that also may speak on the same topic.
Right, usually when we have the manufacturers, they'll come, but if IAPMO is sending someone out, is it free, or is this a fee, or is this somebody, people willing to come and?
Good question.
Yeah.
All the speakers on this list are free. Typically, I don't think we, you know, at the chapter level that we pay people for speaking. They're volunteering their time. It's giving them exposure and hopefully getting you some education on a product or service or a code, something that's happening in the industry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So again, this is now available on the chapter site. All right, and now this is the real meat of the potatoes of the event. After speaking to a number of chapter leaders over the past couple months, you know, planning for this event, in the past 2 years, we've had a panel of 5 or 6 people that represented different parts of the United States. And then the comment was, well, you know, it'd be nice. There's a lot of people in the room. It'd be nice to hear from each of them. So again, we have all our chapters, you know, a lot of our chapters represented. And we're just trying to get a feel so everyone has an idea of what's happening elsewhere, not necessarily in your backyard. Some of our chapters are very active and very energetic. Some of them are just starting. So again, it just kind of gives everyone an idea that you're not alone, whether things are good or whether, you know, like to be enhanced. So by doing that today, it just gives everyone a little background. So if you don't mind, we're just going to ask you again for your chapter name. How often do you meet? You know, is it monthly? Is it bi-monthly? Is it quarterly? Never. You know, do you have a morning, lunch, or evening meeting? You know, we find that sometimes it makes a difference. So again, just gives people a flavor here of when people are meeting. You know, what day of the week do you meet? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You know, is it a Saturday? You know, you do a weekend event? What's your average attendance? Because again, you're going to see a wide range of numbers. I've gone to about 30 of our chapters already. And, you know, again, the attendance has fluctuated and the topics have fluctuated. So again, it gives me an idea of what's happening, and I try to be another resource, you know, for the chapters. Field managers are wearing 1,000 hats. We understand that. So by me being involved, it gives them another opportunity to speak to someone in corporate. You know, if we can help put them on the right track. You know, and then the main portion of it is, tell us one thing that you're proud that your chapter does. And then lastly, what's your number one challenge? Once everyone goes through, we'll try to go through some of those challenges to see if anyone has recommendations. They may even get answered by some of the things that people are doing well. So again, this gives you an opportunity to buddy up with chapters that are doing things very well and you'd like to learn. Make sure you meet them afterwards to make sure that you can call them afterwards or send an email. Everyone here is willing to help. So we're going to start off with our host, Joe Kajak.
I want to thank you all very much. I was the first chairman of the Treasure Coast chapter, and the best thing you need to do is surround yourself. To make you look really good, you got to surround yourselves with a lot of intelligent people. And Bud Riesenberg's my vice chair. Scott Kramer's my recording secretary and treasurer, and everybody knows Bob, region manager. So you surround yourself with a lot of intelligent people, and they make you look really good, to be honest with you. So it's not hard being the chairman of an organization. And when I first started out, we all got together and we decided how we wanted to run the meetings and try to encourage membership. And you know as well as anybody, membership is the key product to get people to show up. So our meeting, we're called the Treasure Coast chapter of IAPMO in West Palm Beach. We meet every other month, and we're very successful by doing that. We have our business, we meet at the Union Hall, Local 630, and we have our business manager, Roger Morgan. He does a robocall. And if you all don't know what that is, it's an automatic phone call to every member, encouraging them to participate not only in the union meetings, but to participate in our active IAPMO meetings. And it's very successful. Not only that, is Mr. Kramer, he goes on email, emails all the people. Barbara, my wife, makes a list of all the email addresses with the help of Bob. And we email everybody that are in our area, and right before the meeting, so that they're reminded. You got to remind them, okay? Because if a week goes by, especially like me, a couple days go by, I can't remember what I did the other day. So I try my best to keep them informed. Our meeting starts in the evening. We hold our meetings from 7 till 9 o'clock every evening. And sometimes it runs over a little bit, sometimes a little less. What we try to do, and what I've encouraged to do to the people that have the meetings, encourage all the guest speakers that we have at the meetings. The best thing to do to hang on to someone at a meeting, you got to give them a prize when they show up at the front door. You have to have raffle tickets so the treasury can make some money. And number 3, you got to feed them. Okay, so what we do is we get chicken wings. After the meeting, they have chicken wings and over an abundance of what they could possibly eat, because we carry some of them home. So if you give them a prize, you have a real good guest speaker, and you feed them, they're happy. They really are. The fourth Wednesday of every other month, is when our meeting is. What I do is I try to make an announcement at our union meeting that the next week would be. So the closer to the union meetings, it seems like it increases our participation, and that's very helpful. On an average for this first year, we're averaging between 40 and 50 members. Okay, so that's a pretty good turnout. We'd like to have 150, but we're going to work on that for next year. Some of the things, like what is our chapter? We have great guest speakers from the industry to tell us about the new products that are on the market. Okay, they come and we handpick our speakers. I've had Sean Cleary come and do a backflow thing, and I'm going to have him return. Mr. Cleary will be doing medical gas, which is real popular right now in the industry, and it encourages people to go to work in some of the areas that we have hospital work in. One other thing, Mr. Carpenter has, and Bud and all of our members here, we're really politically active. And like it was said at the other meeting, we've got our state representative, which is involved in, he's a friendly candidate involved in work for the state of Florida. There's nothing worse than to hire people out of the state of Florida. We kind of want to keep our food and our money right here with the contractors that are local, okay? So we got our state representative, Jeff Clemens, and Bob was at a meeting last night, I believe, Bob, for Patrick Murphy. We've got Patrick Murphy running again. So what we're trying, we're not only have good guest speakers, but we're politically involved in what's going on in our chapter. So the main focus that we really want to do is keep our members active, keep them knowledgeable about the new changes on the products that are on the market, stay in the political flow of hiring, putting people in office that are going to support us, and try to get as many new members as we can. The people, the members that we have coming to our meetings enjoy it so much, and we encourage them to bring a friend. So the gifts there's a lot of vendors out there that'll bring a lot of products to us, and there's nothing better than handing out these little gifts to everybody. We started off with no money, zero money in our chapter. I had a welding company donate a welding machine. It was from Lincoln. Welding machine we raffled off to the Powerhouse guys. I made $1,200, or we did, as a group, made $1,200 the first meeting what we had in our IAPMO chapter. And then Mr. Riesenberg told me, he said, Joe, why don't we get the inspectors involved? So what we did is we're having continuing education classes. And Scott, it was very helpful, and Bob and Bud, we got 25 inspectors in Palm Beach County and in that area, and we gave them 14 continuing education hours. And we made $2,500 for the treasurer. Okay, so we're looking at continuing education, making money, and we're not under the IAPMO code. I wish we were. But I want to tell you, we're starting to hit the inspectors and letting them know all about what we do, and that's the way we need to make a change. So the more involvement that us as a group, as far as continuing education, I think it's going to help us out tremendously. And if I forgot anything, you guys can. Okay,
Thank
Scott,
you, Joe.
please.
As far as the bringing the vendors in and getting them to speak at your chapters, it's always best to try to look a couple months ahead because those guys are on a pretty tight schedule. It's also a great idea to give them an official invite so they can push it through their travel coordinators and get their traveling covered and everything like that. Also, after they come and speak, along with trying to get them to bring different trinkets and stuff that you can give away, it's always best to give them a certificate of appreciation, something official looking with some of your local chapter insignias, some of the IAPMO insignias, different things, just acknowledging your appreciation for them coming out. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Scott. Go to the next table. Again, just want to touch base real quick, so we got a lot of people who want to go around.
Okay. Our chapter is a Texas Gulf Coast chapter. We started about 6 years ago. We meet four times a year at the Cadillac Bar and Grill, and we have lots of good Mexican food. And then we have one additional meeting every year where we have a joint meeting with ASSE and ASPE at the local Plumbing Union Hall. We have our meetings in the evening. We tossed it around a few different times, having different days of the week that we tried the meetings, and we found out that Tuesdays was the best time for us to have meetings. We send out emails to all the members, and with the help of IAPMO, we have the flyers that we get that we put out, or we put out in our offices at least, at the city of Houston. Our average attendance is about 35 at every meeting. We started out with 5 members, and now we've got approximately 80-something members. Our chapter, we strive to educate our members by having contractors come in with new products that are out there in the industry. We give out raffle tickets and have door prizes. Academy Sporting Goods is a good place in Houston, so we give out gift cards for that. And one of our best money makers is our golf tournament. We had an exceptional year this last year, and it was our second one, and that generated a lot of funds for our chapter. We really don't have no number one challenge, I guess. We put together that our challenges are getting the word out about our meetings, getting more members into the chapter, and the other big number one challenge is getting industry sponsors and industry speakers.
Dave Levanger, our chapter is known as the Utah Association of Plumbing and Mechanical Officials. We were established in 1962. Not really sure how many members we have currently, Mike. Do you remember? How many? 135 members. We usually have anywhere between 55 and 65 members attend our lunch meetings bi-monthly, and we buy lunch for them, and they think it's free, but with the dues and everything, it kind of works out. You know how it is, Dwight. We get a lot of support from Pete, and we've got support from Dwight in the past and all the IAPMO reps. We have an annual our meetings, I think I said, are bi-monthly. Then we have an annual conference every year. This year, it'll be in the same place it has been for many years. That's in St. George, Utah. That's a resort area, palm trees, golf courses, that sort of thing. And we hold it in November, so people are sort of, getting a little tired of what they've been doing, so they like to come down there and relax, play golf, and listen to us carry on. We provide education there, and it's good for certification. Our inspectors are certified by the state. You have to be, they're licensed. We have to be licensed. And we provide education to contractors as well, and to the tradesmen, besides the plumbers, everybody else. We have a board that currently is represented by the plumbing industry, and we're looking for a mechanical member. Haven't found one yet. At our lunch meeting, we have a lot of industry support and support from IAPMO through Pete. We have a lot of, if anybody wants continuing education hours, we provide a certificate for that lunch meeting. Let's see, our meetings is on Wednesday. Our average attendance, I think I said, is around 55, maybe 60. I've counted many more than that, some meetings, especially in the winter. What does our chapter do that makes us proud? I guess stability. We've been at it a long time, and we've been able to maintain. Our biggest challenge is code adoption in our state. Sound familiar? And we keep in touch through email, and we have a chapter website as well, and mailing on top of that. So that's how we do it. Thank you.
I'm Fred Volkers. I'm the chapter chairman of Northwest Washington chapter of IAPMO. We meet once a month, usually taking 1 month all July off, and it's usually the first Thursday of the month. We have evening meetings. Excuse me. Our average attendance, 15 to 20 at a meeting, sometimes higher than that, but usually not much more. We have an annual picnic. In fact, this year was our 16th annual picnic for our chapter. And one of the things we do with that picnic is, and maybe I shouldn't say one partner is the ICC, PHCC, MCA, and we all get together and we have our picnic. And we do have people that show up from ICC and from PHCC at our picnic and mingle a little bit and get to know what their side's doing as well as what we're doing. Okay? As a chapter, we sell code books. It's one of the ways to make some money for your chapter. The MCA puts on classes for their project managers within the different companies, and they require, before they take that class, they have to buy a code book. They buy their code books through us. Chapter makes a profit at that. So it's a way to raise some money. Let's see, what else? Oh, we do provide CEU training. Every meeting, we have at least one CEU, 1 hour of CEU that's required by the state of Washington. In the state of Washington, every journeyman plumber has to have 16 hours of training over the 2 years of their license. When they go to reapply for their license, they have to prove that training. We provide the 12 hours that are needed for code or industry related. They have to, on top of that, have 4 hours of electrical training, and we haven't gotten into that yet. Let's see, what else? I had a question. Does headquarters, and I noticed other people here have mentioned that they do provide training. Does headquarters want those numbers to be able to be included with, as Russ mentioned this morning, the people that IAPMO has trained? He had 7,600 up there. Over the year, if you start counting the different chapters, I think that number could rise significantly because we are training. We're a branch of IAPMO, I guess, and we are training, and maybe you want that statistic?
Sure,
Okay.
I'd love to have that.
Yeah, so we can do that, and I encourage other chapters that do training to do that also. And then our biggest challenge, I think the biggest challenge with almost everybody is getting new members, getting people more involved and getting invite in. I think the younger generation in the industry hasn't quite caught on to why we're here and what we do. And I think we really need to go to the local unions, go to the apprenticeship class, go to that first year apprenticeship class when they start a new class each year, and talk to them about what IAPMO is doing. I've done that on a couple occasions, and I'm going to keep doing that. And I think that helps in the long run.
Hello, I'm Ole Steinmack, Big Sky chapter in Montana. We're just raising it from the ashes with Pete Crow's help. Our meetings will be held the Wednesday quarterly before the State Plumbing Board meeting in Helena, Montana. Our biggest challenge is the size of the state. We're just slightly smaller in landmass than California, but we have less than 1 million people that live there. The population is spread throughout the state. There are currently about 1,600 licensed journeymen and master plumbers. It's wonderful being here, sandwiched between Fred and Dave, guys that have it going on. You know, I want to thank IAPMO for this lunch and for this ability to network. Thank you.
Again, my name's John Nielsen. Our chapter name is the Southwest Chapter of Idaho. We usually have our meetings quarterly. I work for the Division of Building Safety, so I'm trying to walk a fine line as a state employee and, you know, getting involved with IAPMO as far as I can't go out and really bring books in and try to sell them because the competition likes to point out that, hey, you know, you're making money on it anyway. The day of the week we meet varies. We try to hold them somewhere close to the board meetings. Our membership has picked up quite a bit this last month due to the fact that we have the Idaho State Plumbing Code and everybody wants their discount on their code books. And at the last meeting, I believe we had about 30, and that I gave a code update class, so that helped. But on average, it's probably 5 people, the 3 officers, Pete, and one of the officers' wives. So not much of a success story here. But last year, when I was at the conference, you know, I tried to bring back some ideas. Even some of the chapters have the pins. I brought that up. A golf tournament, they all looked at me like I was crazy, but hopefully, I'm sure I'll probably get reelected next year. There's about 3 of us that rotate officers, so we'll give it another whirl. And I think our number one challenge is with the Idaho State Plumbing Code. There was a 2-year process. We were down at the legislature fighting and stuff. And the industry doesn't care until it affects them immediately when we red tag them and they're like, well, when did this new code or this new law come into effect? So that's probably our number one challenge, is just getting people to care about IAPMO. But I appreciate all Pete does for us. He's always there. Dwight and the whole IAPMO group. Thanks.
It's still morning. Good morning still. My name's Tom Walsh. I am the chair of the New Jersey Alliance of Master Plumbers, which is the New Jersey chapter, one of the New Jersey chapters. I'm also a member of the New Jersey Plumbing Inspectors Association, which is another chapter. That's why before I said I'm of the New Jersey chapter, plural. We originally started out about 3 years ago, and it started out really well due to some backflow classes that Sean Cleary was giving us. Unfortunately, in New Jersey, we don't adopt the UPC or the UMC. We are, although it's another good code, the National Standard Plumbing Code. We try to meet on Tuesdays, but due to the conflict for most of the trade organizations are usually on Thursday nights and stuff like that. We have been meeting at Hooters.
That should be a drawer. There you go.
We had just opened one up there, and I knew it was Sean's favorite place, so I surprised him our first meeting, and we went there. We still do. I'm going to. Actually, I'm the code official in East Brunswick where we meet at the Hooters, and I just signed a CO for a Tilted Kilt right down the road. So we may see if we can get a better deal there. Oh, it's New Jersey. Presently, we're down in attendance. Usually it's only myself, the treasurer, secretary, and kind of like a do-all guy, Vinny, who's usually a liaison to other organizations. However, being small, it helps us to act fast legislatively and through the trades. We got Local 9 out there, 24, New Jersey, New Jersey League of Master Plumbers, which I just became past president of. And so that allows us to go out and when something happens, like something just happened, NSPC adopted the Green Code supplement into the appendix. And unfortunately, it's looking like New Jersey's going to delete it by rule. So when that happens, you know, we've already got things out there. I've already spoken with Sean about it, and had him speak to the League of Master Plumbers, and I think he was just out at ASPE. So it's very, very hard to break the mindset in New Jersey, because in New Jersey, the building officials, of which I am also, are considered sacrosanct. And quite frankly, we're getting tired of them telling us which codes we're going to adopt. So, yeah. Yeah, so we have a big push on, and we're waiting to see when it's going to come up. It has to go through the administrative process right now for the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Codes and Standards. It's going to probably go to the Code Advisory Board. In fact, they have the Code Advisory Board, which is sort of like the Congress, and then they have separate code committees for each discipline. The Plumbing Code Committee voted against it. But because the building inspectors, the building officials are so powerful, because they know a whole lot about plumbing, it looks like they're going to be able to get it out because they want to be fair and have another code family be able to come in and maybe use their code, which we don't like, because it means that now we're going to have to buy yet another expensive code book, as opposed to having the one that's in the appendix, which is pretty much targets plumbing and mechanical. So we're not pleased at that. So that's probably the biggest challenge we have. As far as membership, hopefully, you know, if we can get the green code in and keep the IAPMO name out there, it'll get to be more of a namesake, and people get more familiar with it. We've been pushing that, and thanks to BPI and the backflow certification classes that we've been running, this has been happening. I think the thing that we're most proud of just happened. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, who runs the backflow and cross-connection control programs in New Jersey, and basically New Jersey Safe Drinking Water Act regulates that, has just approved our chapter as a certifying agency in the state, which is huge because there's only 4 that have ever been certified, certifying agencies in the state of New Jersey. So that alone us being an IAPMO chapter, hopefully that's going to maybe make the name a little bit more prevalent out there, and that should help. As far as the again, as far as the biggest challenge, I think it's the not. I think it's because IAPMO are gentlemen and told New Jersey many years ago, we will never push our code here, but if you want us, we'll be here. And they haven't. However, another code organization has been relentless in not playing by the same rules. So I would like to applaud IAPMO as one of the very few in New Jersey who still know about it, for being gentlemen and sticking by your word and playing by the rules and sticking by what you said you were going to do. And I think by that, someday, I think it will pay off in that people like that, people respect that, and I think it will pay off. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Thomas.
Brian Hamner with the Iowa chapter. We meet on the odd months numbers on the third Thursday of the month. We have our meetings in the mornings, followed by a lunch. Average attendance is 10 to 12, mainly of inspectors from other agencies. One of our biggest challenges right now is at the state, with the 2008 adoption of a plumbing mechanical board. We have an adopted statewide plumbing code, but we don't have yet a mechanical code. So they're trying to still work out the details still with plumbing, total plumbing code, and how to enforce it. We don't have even the statewide inspections yet. They had some money there, and now they've slid it off to another spot, waiting. And one of the challenges with us is that the other entities around the state, that they adopt those other codes, and we're fighting with the people that go and work in those communities, and now with statewide having their licensing program and grandfathering a lot of people in as plumbers and mechanical personnel, that they don't understand the plumbing code, and they question why we're making them do things because another code doesn't. And they don't understand that the state has mandated the UPC as their plumbing code, and they choose to inspect and run underneath another.
Okay, Virgin Islands chapter, we have a dual organization, Virgin Islands Plumbers Association, which we've always had. We became an IAPMO chapter in 2000. We have adopted the IAPMO codes from about 2003. We usually meet on about the fourth Sunday at a bar and restaurant named Percy's Bus Stop. Happy hour. Our biggest challenges are membership as usual, right? But what makes us proud is that the fact that we adopt the IAPMO codes, and we fundraisers, we try to have raffles. We might take a little boat trip over to another island for like a fun day. We do have an annual luncheon, similar to like a conference thing. We honor members of the community, mechanical, plumbing, or just business person that we think deserving of an award. And again, Sunday we meet. Our average attendance kind of varies. I'll say probably about 20 members. But when we started the chapter, we had about 50 when we started. But everybody always has an excuse. But we are proud to at least have 20 members. And that's it.
Okay, we because we're on the islands, you know, we kind of spread out a little bit. Most of us here is from St. Thomas, and we try to assist in trying to get St. Croix to form their own chapter because we have a little, you know, problem, conflict, you know, going back and forth and whatnot, you know. So that's one of our challenges also. And that's about it for us in the islands, you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Roots.
Once again, a success story. For the first time ever, the Uniform Mechanical Code was adopted this past legislative session in the St. Thomas Virgin Islands. So again, congratulations to Marilyn and her team.
Okay, Andy Leba, New Mexico chapter. We try to meet every other month, usually on the third week, and we have dinner meet. And that way it's easier for the contractor that's working. And we average about 25 individuals, which is pretty great for a city that's not interested in doing anything but going home and rest, especially when the temperature is so hot. The average contractor that comes in, we usually try to meet with them and try to get them involved. We have CEU classes, and the state is UPC and Uniform Mechanical Code, which I'm proud to admit. We have two cities that went over the wall. However, Las Cruces is coming back. Myself, I'm the building safety supervisor of the city, and J.T. Baca, the bureau chief of the state. We're going to go down and start training with the help of Mr. John Mata. John Mata has been very supportive. This is my first trip here, first time I've ever been in any type of organization that meant a lot to me. So not only do I practice, but I also preach the Uniform Mechanical and the plumbing codes. The number one challenge is to keep the ICC codes out, which we are really going to try. We have lobbyists that are backing up the Uniform Plumbing Code, Uniform Mechanical Code, and some very successful contractors, big contractors. So with the help of the private sector and the unions, I think we're going to succeed. And that's about all.
Great, thanks, Andy.
Good morning. My name is Trini Mendoza, and I am with the, 3-year new chapter of Channel Islands. That's in Ventura County. That Ventura County is composed of 9 cities. Only 4 of them, they got government identity that does the services. The others got on the contract basis. So for me, the challenge is that I have to preach the people who they only want to get paid and get out. They don't want to give them the time to whomever they hire to go to the meetings. So, and we meet the last Tuesday of every month. And Mr. Bailey and Ella, they show up. They're one of the regular members. And he keeps calling me, Trini, what day we meet? The last Tuesday of the month. Whatever the date is, that's the last Tuesday. And we meet on the lunch hour. The beginning, when we started at Carol's Restaurant in Ventura, and then we seen that the attendance was dropping a little bit, so we moved to Octavio's, which is in the city of Camarillo, and we got a little bit increase, and my average is about 15, 20 people, including contractors. But again, the challenge is some of the people that get in on my age or older, they want to retire, and we need new blood, like you say, gentlemen, and we look at all of these things. Look, the kids of today, they want it on a computer, they want it easy, they want it on paper, but if you have to work hard, they don't want to do it. And that's a problem I'm facing in my area, believe me. Even I tried to put it up one in Spanish. They show up quite a bit in the Spanish language, so I tell them, hey, don't worry about it. I'll be there to do it in Spanish. The book is translated. Look, Dad, I have a copy here. And I had a pretty good success on that days. But then they go out because the economy hit us very hard in that area. not that many jobs around, and that's the main problem that I face into, that is they got no time to go, and whomever has a job, it's either they move out of the state, out of the area, or they're working late of night, and it's a problem. But for us, the biggest challenge is that, the new membership coming in and trying to get people involved with the new blood. I mean, it's what we need is keep pushing, and that's what I do. I try to do the best, and like I say, thanks to the gentlemen that represent us in there, Mr. Perkins and Johnny, that keeps calling me, Trini, you forgot to do this, you forgot to do this. Thank you. And but I do. We try to do the best, and we're the new chapter. The county or the cities, they have the competitor or the competition chapter in there, but they have a lot of money, and they keep pushing, so they make more money than us. But thank you for that, and good luck everyone in the chapters.
I'm Don Taylor, and our chapter is the California Central Coast chapter. We do have monthly lunch meetings. Usually it's always the third Thursday of the month. We usually have those from about 12 to 2. We try to have guest speakers. About half the time we get guest speakers. We've had some pretty good topics that we get some good attendance for. We've had some topics on boilers, some grease traps, green pipe, and different things. We alternate our meeting location between the East Bay and West Bay to make it easier for some people, so they don't always have to drive quite so far to get to the meeting. We also to help raise money for the chapter, we also try to get some of our sponsors to sponsor the lunch, and so that's one way that our chapter earns some money. We also have an annual golf tournament that's been fairly successful. It's coming up here next month, and that's gone over pretty well also. And we have, again, at our lunch meetings, we also do raffles. We have vendors donate items, and then we raffle those off, and that also helps us make some money. One of the things that, some of the things that we're proud of, we have a lot of active members in our chapter that are very active with code adoption and things like that. We also, our chapter also tries to help sponsor some of our members to go to some of the TC meetings and things when they're out of the area to help defer costs. Our average lunch attendance is anywhere from 8 to 20 people. It just really varies. Our chapter has a website. We do a lot of emails. And one of our challenges is also getting new attendance.
Thanks, Don.
Hello, my name is David Gans, and I'm representing the San Diego County chapter of IAPMO, of which I'm chairman. We started our chapter about 5 years ago. We meet the first Tuesday of every month, with the exception of January, since the January 1st holiday is kind of right there every year, so we take January off. We have a lunch meeting at a steakhouse, and people really enjoy the location that we're at. We have a nice kind of U-shaped, kind of round table atmosphere that gets people involved. We're very careful to let people have an opportunity to participate. We don't look at it like it's just, some people can just come in and listen to a presentation and slip out of the room. We definitely try to get everybody involved. We run our meeting in the best manner possible as far as using the Roberts rules. Let's see, average attendance, we have typically between 15 and 30, 35 people attending. Of that group, only a handful are inspectors. It's been a little tough to get some of our inspectors in our local areas to participate. I can point to a couple of reasons. One is we do a lunch meeting, and a lot of people where I'm at, they even skip lunch, whether it's for vanity, because you have to fit in a bathing suit when down in San Diego. Got a couple of laughs. Or because they're doing so many inspections a day. We've got people doing 20 plus inspections. And then the big factor, I think, is that we have a lot of combination building inspectors in our area. And they're a little extra tough to reach out to. Number one, they're a little worried about being put on the spot for technical issues because they're not necessarily plumbing experts. They don't necessarily love plumbing the way that the people in this room do. So they're concerned about being, put on the spot technically. Let's see, I guess, in general, they've been a little tough to reach out to, largely for the fact that they're not plumbing professionals. At the same time, I truly believe what our chapter is doing and what we have become is a resource for these combination inspectors. They know that we're meeting there, they know who's participating, they make phone calls to us on issues, and gradually over time we've earned the respect of a lot of the jurisdictions around us. And I just need to encourage them to have the strength to show up to our meetings. So we will grow that way. What our chapter does that I'm proud of, we have a mission statement in that we're not there just to kind of have lunch together. We're there to provide at least 2 training seminars a year to our area that bring awareness to plumbing inspection. This last year we had a backflow awareness seminar, of which Sean Clary was very helpful in helping us get that going. We've got significant backflow concerns down there. We also had a uniform plumbing and mechanical code update class, both of which were well attended. They bring money into our chapter, which we distribute in the shirts and hats and raffle prizes. And overall, I'm very happy with how our chapter's grown over the last 5 years, and picture it just getting better. And really with the help of Dwight and other IAPMO staff, it's become everything I've imagined it would be, and we're going to see it grow some more.
Thanks, David, and welcome to the board.
San Diego chapter, we meet once a month. Average attendance is probably from 10, 15, 20, whatever. Whoever's going to show up that day. Anything what we do, we usually have our flyers, and we go to wholesale houses and put them on there, see if we can get more people to come out. Another thing that we do is the importance of the plumbing code. How important is the plumbing code? That's what we try to emphasize to our members. What was it like prior to a code? What were sanitary conditions like? Jed, he was in Haiti. The cholera spread epidemic. 1850 in England, terrible conditions. There was another cholera epidemic. You have to emphasize, guys who understand what the code's about. What's it for? What would it be like if we didn't have a code now? Just think about it. I asked a doctor friend of mine, I think I brought this at our last meeting. I said, Steve, he's an MD, what would you doctors do without plumbers? He said, his answer was, we won't have enough doctors. That's how important we are. Do people know how important we are? I don't think so. They take plumbing for granted. Flush a toilet and that's it. We have to emphasize what we are and what we do and what we mean. What's our purpose? I think that's awfully important if we can get that message across. We're probably, if there's an epidemic, let's say in, like Jed, in Haiti, do they call carpenters first? No, they can use tents. Do they call electricians? No, they can use candles. But they have to have sanitation and potable water to drink. That's how important we are. And we got to emphasize that to our students, to our members, how important plumbers are. And that's something I don't think we do. But it's awfully important.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Godomsky. I'm chairman of the Alaska Central Chapter.
We meet the third Tuesday, 8 months a year. We take off the summer months for fishing, and if you're not fishing 20 hours a day, you're working 24 hours a day. And then we also take off in December. We hold 7 regular meetings, IAPMO meetings, and 1 joint meeting with the Alaska chapter of ASHRAE, and that's always a good one. Our average attendance runs about 40. What I like to do is do everything by email. Unfortunately, some of our members and contractors are still in the 19th century, and we actually have some up there that don't even have a computer, let alone a smartphone. One of the things that has been real helpful to me is sending Alan our email contact list. Not only do I send out notices, and the vice chairman sends out notices, our secretary sends out meeting notices, but IAPMO also sends out our notices. And right after our meetings, within usually about 2 or 3 days, you'll find our minutes, and our next notice is posted on the IAPMO chapter website. We really utilize that quite a bit. Our number one challenge is, like I said, probably dragging the guys into the 21st century. We're getting them into the 20th almost. Probably the number one benefit would be our new president-elect. It used to be when I called IAPMO, it was, hey, Jim, what do you need? Now it's Mr. Godomsky, how can I help you? And that really works out well for our chapter. But we've been around for over 20 years, and we're going to be around for a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
I'm Jed Sherman from the Oregon Cascade chapter. Our chapter meetings are every other month on a Thursday evening. It's a supper meeting, and there's 2 hours continuing education credit for our members for every meeting. So as a result of that, Oregon members can get their continuing education. We have a triennial license, and you can get all your CEUs through our IAPMO chapter, and that's a pretty good value bang for the buck. We don't have the largest average attendance or anything. I think we have 30 to 40. We're proud of the fact that we're a long-established chapter. It's kind of unclear when we originated, probably in the early 60s. It's a very diverse chapter in that it has roughly 1/3 inspectors, 1/3 industry, including contractors, wholesalers, and so forth, and of course the inspectors. So the diversity of the group really helps when it comes to issues. Our biggest challenge right now is busyness. It's tough sometimes to be compelling to get people to come to meetings when they got so many other things in their plate. I think in the Metro Portland area we have a unique problem given the economy in the country, in that right now our members are working as much as 7/12s. So to get them to come out to an IAPMO meeting is a bit of a challenge. So to go back to what Joe opened with, door prizes are a really good motivator. We have good old-fashioned cash, and then we've got a benefactor that has given us 2-night stays at the Oregon coast at a really nice hotel, and we usually give away 2 of those plus 1 supper cruise for a couple. So, thank you.
Thanks, Jed.
Good afternoon. My name is Jaime Valdivia again. I'm with the Inland Empire chapter, and we've only been around for a couple of years, and we meet once a month. It's usually the 4th Saturday of the month. We're dark in November and December because of the holidays. It's a morning meeting. We have an average of about 15 people. It's pretty diverse, though. We have inspectors, engineers, architects, and a couple of owners of plumbing outfits. And we do get a couple of people there from the ICC as well that come and attend the meetings, which is kind of cool because we get a different perspective sometimes from them. And let's see, what proud of the chapter, I tell you, we have a real difficult time getting speakers. But when we do all show up and we sit there and we talk, we have a kind of an open forum. And some of those meetings really go a lot longer than when we got a speaker there because there's just so much information being thrown around. And we'll go off on any tangent, whether it's talking about photovoltaic or talking about new products or, you know, code changes, what have you. And those really go for a while there. Probably the challenge, I guess, is growing the chapter, because we've been pretty consistent with about the 13, 15 people that we have. It's a pretty large area. We're San Bernardino in the Riverside area. And I think it's just a matter of trying to get the word out. What I've started doing is when we get the notices and we get the speaker lined up, I try to go ahead and get a printout of it, and I go ahead and I start distributing it at the local union meetings, as well as emailing it to various people within the area so that they can see that there's a meeting and who the speaker's going to be, and kind of throw in my own language in there of why it's important they should be there. Other than that, thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Jaime.
Hello, my name is Rachel Valdivia. I'm from the Long Beach chapter. I'm new. I've not done many of these. We meet the second Saturday of the month in the morning. We have a morning breakfast. We meet at a restaurant that overlooks the bay, which is really nice. We have about 35 to 45 attendees every time we meet. We have speakers. They bring excellent topics to what's going on out there. Our main goal is to increase attendance and to get the information out there to people who want it. We have inspectors, plumbers, all kinds of tradespeople there that come to these meetings. And for me, myself, it's very informative. I've learned about gray water, solar panels, couplings. I mean, I don't even use half of this stuff, but it's out there. And on my home now, I have solar panels because of the information that I have learned from you guys. And it is an energy saving thing, and it helps the environment. We get a lot of speakers, green plumbers, what's going on in the new changes in the codes. And our number one challenge is to just increase attendances. We have a golf tournament once a year. We do a Mother's Day breakfast where the guys bring in their wives. We also take the IAPMO cups and stuff them with candy and pens and pencils to do as giveaways. And I don't know what it is, but they love it. And half of the guys have cups and hats, but they keep taking them home, and they like it. I'd just like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to attend your meeting and to be involved along with my husband and the rest of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Good afternoon, DJ Berger, Louisiana Chief Chapter. We meet quarterly, except for December. We usually meet on the third Wednesday of the month. December, though, we move it up because of Christmas. The average attendance at our meetings has been falling off. We're probably about 15 to 20 right now, but we're working on that. Something the chapter is proud of is we're usually the common ground for PHCC, the UA, and the MCA, and we are the watchdogs for those who are trying to take down the industry in our area. We're lucky. We usually have John Mott at all our meetings, along with our State Plumbing Board Director, and with that, they're the ones that give us the information on what's going down, and we sound that off to the community. Challenges, I guess, would be probably attendance. Like I said, we used to get better attendance. We're trying to come up with different ways to do that. We may try the Hooter thing. Maybe that'll work. And I guess the other challenge is getting the young student members to actually get involved in the chapter. And we're going to figure that one out and get that done also. Thank you.
Anyone else in the back besides Las Vegas?
My name's Alan Becker. Our chapter is the Southern Nevada chapter. And just to let everybody know, next year we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary as a charter chapter, and I'm proud to say that one of our charter members is here, Mr. Tom Gugino. Our chapter meets once a month, usually the fourth Thursday of the month. We go out, we have business cards made. On the back is all the dates for the year, so anybody can pick those up and know when the next meeting is. There's no excuse. Cards are right there. We have our lunches at a golf course We charge for the lunch. It just covers the cost of the food. We have a huge raffle, and we raffle off some of our logo wear and some of the donations that we get. Our average attendance runs between 35 and 50, with our largest being close to 80. We have a guest speaker every month, and thanks to Bill Laub, our newsletters go out with a bio on our guest speaker and information on what the topic is going to be. So Bill Laub spends a lot of time printing out all this material. We brought extra copies if anybody wants to take a look and see some of the things that we've done. What I love most about our chapter, it's family. Our chapter is like family. We have a large installation banquet, which those that have attended know it's the party of the year. You've probably seen pictures, but it's family. There's everybody and anybody there. We encompass 7 jurisdictions. Our chapter does. We usually have 3 building officials at each of our monthly meetings. We have 3 members that travel an hour and a half from Mojave County, Arizona to attend our chapter meetings. They are chapter members. And our next challenge for next year is we're going to go electronic. We're going to go to business card reader to capture and update everybody's email addresses, phone numbers, attendance. We're going to hopefully get to a PayPal system for memberships. We have a lot of people that want to buy multi-year chapter memberships, and so it'll be so much easier just to take their credit card right then and there, send them an electronic email. You are now a 5-year member, 10-year member, and we'll also offer that with our sister organizations and also with IAPMO National. So with that being said, again, if there's anybody that wants to come and discuss any of this, but we do real well, and I really enjoy it, so thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Any other chapters that we missed that want to say something? Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yeah, I'm Bruce Pfeiffer. I'm with the Kansas, Missouri chapter of IAPMO, and we are lucky we have one of the founding fathers, Mr. Bill Schweitzer, of our chapter. He got it started about, 18, 20 years ago, Bill? 1840s, yeah. Well, he was so good at that he also has started 5 other chapters in the Kansas area. We're kind of like some of the other states where our population is scattered all over the place, so it would be very difficult for them to come to just one meeting in one area. We currently have about 50 members in the Northeast chapter. And we have become very politically involved in what happens as far as CEU classes and that type of thing. A number of years ago, a lot of the jurisdictions got together, decided that we wanted to take charge of our trade. And so the IAPMO chapter is very integral in that decision-making process. And at this time, we actually we write legislation and send it to our legislators to go ahead and take into their different to help us adopt what we need for our trade. So currently we actually get 6 CEU class or hours per year. And so we use that. That's our opportunity to go ahead and make a few bucks. Our chapter charges $15 a year for membership dues, and the members do not have to pay additionally for the CEU classes. But anybody that wants to come in as a guest would have to pay $5 for a class. So we make some extra money that way. Some of our challenges, we have a very large ICC chapter that's within 60 miles of a couple of our largest jurisdictions that are UPC. And so our challenges are every 3 years to maintain our code. And luckily for us, with the help of the UA, who has become very politically involved in our state, we're holding on. Wichita just adopted the 2006 UPC, And I think we're going to keep them and parts of Kansas City and Topeka. The largest jurisdictions are going to stay UPC. But thanks.
Thank you, Bruce.
Real quick, I just wanted to mention, you know, we mentioned about the golf tournament earlier, and the golf tournament was my officers wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that golf tournament. That's the reason they're here. That's the reason we're wearing these nice shirts. We're able to buy our first chapter shirts, and as Joe said earlier, you know, I learned a long time ago you're only as good as the guys you surround yourself with, and without these guys, and of course John Mata, the field rep, we wouldn't be as successful as we've been for the last 7 years. And also, I can't think of a better way to network yourself out there during a golf tournament, because it brings in people from all sections of the industry. So I just want to let you guys, perfect way to raise funds for the chapter. Thank you.
Thanks, Alfred. So as you can see, there's really no perfect recipe for everyone being successful. Everyone here is successful in one shape or form. You know, attendance varies from, you know, based on what I heard today, 15 to 20 to 30 to as much as 50 on an average. The challenge seems to be, you know, getting members, you know, getting attendance. How do you promote it? Using CEUs is one of the things that are drawing people. So continue that. You know, the golf tournament, holding it at Hooters, I guess, you know, another aspect. You know, but again, that's what we're all here for, is to try to learn from one another, see what's working, not working, reach out to your peers. You don't have to feel that you're isolated in your own little silo in your area and say, wow, I'm all by myself. We have the IAPMO staff that's here to assist you as well. Johnny Brown does everything with the chapters. Johnny, you have any comments on that?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank every single one of you for helping me help you. And the way you do that is by turning in your notices directly to me. I do know that some of you do send to Alan. Please know that poor Alan sometimes travels, and then he has to forward the information to me so that I can get it up. But if you will send it directly to me, I will make sure that your information gets up as quickly as possible. That means those of you who rely on us to do your chapter notices for you, I need you desperately to get your notices into me at minimum 3 weeks prior. I have so many chapters right now, so it is important that you at least stick to that deadline. And you do not have to wait. If you have information 6 months out, you know, I get some of you that call and say, you know, I have information. He goes, do I need to wait to get it? No, you don't. Send it in to me. I will get that information up, and the system automatically will know when your meeting is coming up. As soon as your meeting for the month that we're in is over, boom, your next notice will be popped up onto the screen, and it'll be available for your members to go ahead and view and download. So you don't have to wait. We do appreciate you getting your speakers into us. When you send your speakers in, your information, please remember to include their email and phone numbers so we can add them to the speakers list. Okay? Alan?
Great, thanks, Johnny. You know, we also heard that a number of chapters have their own websites, just for that, which is excellent. Just be aware that every chapter with IAPMO has its own website through us, and that you all can be reached at iapmomembership.org/chapters, and then your 2-digit code or 3-digit code that identifies your chapter. So you can send people directly to your own webpage. On that page, we can post pictures, your minutes, your upcoming events. Let us know. Let us know what your dates are, because again, the more that we can promote you, the better off we can do for your members and your prospective members. In regards to some other ways we can possibly help, you know, one thing we can do from corporate is to email you a list of all your new members that come in every month. Perhaps you can contact each member, welcome them to IAPMO. This is a great way to get them involved, let them know when your next chapter meeting is. Also, you know, Las Vegas has obviously done a lot of materials they've produced. You know, perhaps we can create a tab on the chapter page with chapter tools. So again, that you don't have to reinvent the wheel when others have already done some of that for you. It's obviously you can tweak it. The Southern Nevada chapter has been very generous in saying, hey, let's post it, let them take what they want. You know, there's examples up front with sign-in sheets and things like that. You know, they get RSVPs before their meeting, so they actually promote who's going to be attending. That could be another way to help draw people to your event. A lot of times, you know, we promote, we don't know how many people are showing up. So again, maybe ask for an RSVP just to get a buy-in from the people. Okay? And again, we're always open for other suggestions. We don't have all the answers, but again, collectively, we can all do a better job of making things better for everyone. You guys are the grassroots effort for IAPMO, and that's what's going to help national. People get involved locally, and again, we try to drive nationally. So again, thank you everyone for your efforts. We do have a few new benefits that I just want to bring to everyone's attention. You may not be aware. It's a program called Direct Benefits. One is called Bundled, which has categories including car care, entertainment, legal services, lifestyle, etc. This is a month-by-month thing. It's nothing, you know, that there's no lifetime commitments, etc. It's all month-to-month. They start as low as $5.95 a month, where you can get 4 benefits and receive 4 for free. 6 benefits, receive 8 free. 10 benefits, get 12 free. Again, you can see that on the website when you log into the membership at iapmomembership.org. There's also an identity assessment score. So again, you want to see if you're at risk. And that starts as, you know, as $1.95. Again, these are all month to month, no obligations. We also have identity patrol. So again, the biggest white collar crime is identity theft. I'm sure everyone in this room probably knows someone that's it's affected, unfortunately. Well, IAPMO now again has an opportunity for you to take advantage of that. There's a family plan that starts at $15.87 a month, and then also $9.87 for just an individual. And they'll monitor your credit and help you get everything going. I think this is going to be the biggest excitement as a new benefit. We talked about it last year. It's finally arrived. Is the answers and analysis for mechanical and for plumbing. This is now available online through the membership, again, site. So if you go to iapmomembership.org, you log in. This is going to be on your left-hand side. This is a $120 value. So when you're looking at $75 memberships for individuals, or $25 for students, $15 for seniors, it's a great, great way, in addition to the official magazine, that's a $75 value that they're getting. So if you keep seeing of adding up value, and that's what we're trying to do, is bring continuous value to our members and our prospective members. The introductory membership, obviously you heard the numbers this morning. Everyone's taking advantage, a lot of people taking advantage of that. We have over 4,000 introductory members. Again, the field service managers are the ones that are cranking those out. We appreciate it. They're the ones that are seeing the largest groups of people and making that happen. From our perspective, one thing that we do ask, it is an electronic membership. For those that aren't familiar with the introductory membership, it's an electronic membership that allows people that aren't familiar with IAPMO, or even that are familiar with IAPMO, to sample what we have to offer without reaching into their pocket. So it's free for 12 months. They get a discount on books. They do get all the other benefits. They don't get a vote, so that's a difference. And they don't get a hard copy of the official. Our goal is obviously to convert those people, after a year or within the year, because they can do it at any time, to get involved, have a vote, and again, have the opportunity to get the hard copy of the official magazine. What we do ask is that when you send them in, if they're manual, please make sure there's an email address. If there's no email, they're not going to get anything. And even for those members that are active right now that don't have an email, we want to find that out because they're losing out on a lot of information that IAPMO provides its members. Newsletters, industry information, et cetera. That's part of your membership. You're losing that value if all you're getting is the official magazine. And then also a phone number. The reason why the phone number is important is because everyone's handwriting is not the best. And I'm not one to throw stones because my handwriting is the worst. But at least if we have a phone number, we can follow up with the people in case the email comes back or we can't read their address, etc. So again, we just ask everyone's help on that. Next year, save the date. We're going to be in Kansas City, so I know Bill Schweitz's crowd is going to be there in force. We look forward to it. It's going to be at the Western Crown Plaza, September 23rd, 29th through October 3rd. Here's our contact information. Again, you met Tricia earlier, and you know her from the past. She's ran membership before. Johnny Brown, I'm only as good as my people. Unfortunately, my people are good, so they make me look good. And we appreciate it. So that's our contact information. Any questions you have, I'm more than happy to visit your chapters. It gives me a chance to meet the members, our prospective members. It gives them another contact to corporate, in addition to your field service managers, who are normally your number one contact. But again, the more people that can get engaged and involved, the better IAPMO is going to be. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I just wanted to let you know that as far as our new membership benefit, we've already had at least 3 or 4 respondents call or email us to tell us that they love it. They are so happy that we've added this new benefit. And also, too, regarding the chapter notices, I've had at least, again, 3 or 4 emails from people who have said they love receiving the email notification of your chapter notices, and they love the reminders. I noticed that one of you was saying that the reminders are so important. Well, they're working.
Great, thanks, Johnny. Yes, thank you. So again, we want to thank everyone for attending. We want to thank everyone for their efforts. You're what makes IAPMO move and go forward. Obviously, with RPA now coming on board, it's more membership. Our membership has grown, by quite a few thousand. We're over 8,000 now. Our goal is hopefully to be by 10,000 by the end of the year. And, again, if the move goes through with ASSE, again, more people. Another thing that I got out of the what works is partnering with other groups. So again, to have joint meetings with other organizations. Again, that can help get more people in a room. You can combine resources. Maybe you split the costs. And, again, with more avenues available to you, we're more than happy to help you. So again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and we'll see you next year.